Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Breakthrough. This is not the 2019 series, which is, I'm not sure, Topher Grace is in it, that's something else. This is a 2015 to 2017 two-season National Geographic docu-series, and it is all about scientific breakthroughs in many different fields and many different topics. Each of them are about 44 minutes long each, probably a little less than that. Probably aired on the National Geographic Channel. I only watched one episode, and boy, was it important. You have to understand the very first topic, the one they tend to lead with. Now, usually when you have a new series, regardless of whether it's an anthology or whatever, you tend to lead with your strongest, most important episode to get people really into it and go, oh, this is something, hey, these people are talking about some important stuff. This is something that I need to know about. And that applies to my life even. Then, yeah. The first episode is about fighting pandemics. No, this is not about the pandemic you think, because this was made in 2015. This is all about the Ebola pandemic, the outbreak that happened primarily in West Africa, but spread throughout the world over the years prior to this. There was a number in the U.S., but due to the efforts of biologists, virologists, immunologists, scientists, and people who are experts in the field, they were able to combat it. And rather than people dying off in droves as they were when this started in a small village, I think Liberia or Sierra Leone, they were able to make changes. And even one of their own doctors they followed in this got infected, and they were able to cure him, and he was able to recover. And they were able to learn from that amongst all the other work that was being done around the world at different labs all over the place to find the best possible solution. And yes, there's a few twists to his story, especially that doctor's story, especially, and it's worthwhile checking out, understanding. And I realize this is a touchy subject, especially since we just went through a pandemic. This story is very prescient. No matter what part of this you believe or understand, or what your experience is when it came to the pandemic that we've just dealt with around the world, whether you believe in numbers or science or propaganda or conspiracies or whatever, it's worthwhile searching out the facts and knowing that the science exists or can exist with people who have dedicated their lives to finding these breakthroughs. And that is not just in the realm of the fighting pandemics. As we saw in the first episode, this is also about all the different aspects of technology and science and biology and everything else. And I'm going to go through each of these episodes so I do not focus on just the pandemic, which is, again, the only episode I watched. And again, this is 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. So it's a little, when it comes to science, things get dated fairly quickly because we learn, evolve, and things change. we hopefully get better at understanding ourselves, our technology, especially when it comes to technology. It's I forget what the law is. It's like every 6 months, our capacity for certain things doubles for data and storage and things like that. It might even be faster than that now. But just so you know, what makes this series interesting, also, before I go through the episodes, there's only 12 of them, by the way. 2 seasons, 6 episodes each. They are narrated by certain celebrities. If that's what make you go, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to watch this now. Well, here you go. This is, by the way, this is executive produced by Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, who work on a billion different things. Richie Cunningham, and also Opie. So, yeah, they've been doing a bunch of stuff. Let's see, a bunch of different narrators. Mike Colder, Luke Cage does one of them. Sheila Vand, Jason Bateman, Arrested Development. Hey, Ron Howard probably gave him a call up and said, hey, why don't you join up here? Ron Howard does narrate one of them himself. Hopefully not in the Arrested Development way, but we'll see. Adrian Brody and Angela Bassett. David Cronenberg appears as himself, and I have a feeling I know which one that is, and I'll point that out in a moment. Paul Giamatti, and Peter Berg is the one who directed and narrated the Fighting Pandemics episode. Just be aware that, especially with the pandemic one, I can't speak to the other ones. The pandemic one is very bloody. There is a certain level of dramatic flair done to accentuate the absolute horror of the Ebola outbreak in Africa. And so the footage that's real, I hate to use the word sexy, but it does not look like documentary footage. Yes, it's all staged. It's not. They're not pretending that it's real footage, but it's meant to add a dramatic and compelling edge to it. And there's just swaths of bloody people everywhere. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Just close-ups of blood dripping. So if you're faint of heart, if you can't stand the sight of blood, this episode might not be for you. Maybe listen to it with your eyes closed. I don't know. Just saying. So that's just a good sampling of some of the people who have provided their voiceover talents to narrate these episodes. But let's take a look at what else we have here. Fighting Pandemics, More Than Human. That's the David Cronenberg episode. If you know who David Cronenberg is, yeah, you'll understand that. This is about taking us beyond replacement parts and into a new realm of body and mind. Okay, Cronenberg, why don't you add your 2 cents to this? Decoding the Brain, The Age of Aging, and let's see, Energy on the Edge, and Water Apocalypse. So it's there's also science regarding nature and the earth and things like that. And let's see about season 2. Season 2 has Addiction, a psychedelic cure. There's been talk of LSD and some other types of drugs that might be useful to deal with certain mental issues. It's controversial, but yeah. Cyber Terror. Yeah, it's Curing Cancer, also another biological episode. Game of Drones, the technology of drones. That might be a little bit more fun than the cancer episode. I don't know. And also, actually, it's probably not fun because it talks about how they're used to defend troops and civilians from bombs and such. Predicting the Future. Okay, that might be a little bit more fun. And Power to the People, which is making a trek across the Himalayas to bring power to a remote monastery. So this is, it's not just all one thing and sad and terrifying. It is very much about our capacity to hopefully improve this world with a constant desire to learn, explore, and innovate. Breakthroughs. So, yeah, that's all I can really say about this. I'm going to add this. Hopefully it doesn't get taken away. This kind of stuff, science things, interest me. Now I got to tell you that the pandemic one, it can get a little dry with talking about how they do it, all the different details. It's very sciencey, so it's not sexy at all. Not that you want it to be sexy, but I'm just saying it's a documentary. So I say it's something that's really definitely for the science heads out there, people who are looking to see where we were 8 years ago, 8 years ago. If we did the same series now, post-pandemic, the technology and the biology and everything else, honestly, you know what, Ron Howard, Brian Grazer, make this series again. Do the same exact episodes every 10 years. Do that. But show it with the current volume of data that we have. And if it's some stuff that's like, oh, maybe not a whole lot's changed, maybe just make it a short little bit. Make a series of shorts. I'm giving that to you for free, Ron. Call me. So. All right. That is all I can say about this episode. But tomorrow, it's Friday, and we have a world premiere on Disney Plus about the man. Yes, Stan the Man, Stan Lee, has a biography documentary series. I realized if he'd lived to that day, he just turned 100. He would have turned 100 last December. 19th? It's hard to remember. I don't know. But yeah, so he almost got there, but he is no longer with us. So they have a biography, a documentary about Stan Lee, one of the forefathers of Marvel comics and the MCU and everything else we just love to spend money on at theaters and toys and everything else. The reason that Comic-Con, one of the many reasons that Comic-Con is still a big deal to this day. So tomorrow, Stan Lee on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Oh gosh, I hope it is.